Hi, my name is Katie and I'm a travel agent. I specialize in Disney and theme park vacations, but I can help you travel anywhere. And today we are taking a look at Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort in Nassau, Bahamas. This is an all-inclusive, adults-only, 5-star luxury resort. All Sandals resorts are couples focused and every room has a king bed and requires a 2-person occupancy. No more and no less. We will take a full tour of the resort today, as well as have a review of my recent stay in April of 2023 at Sandals Royal Bahamian. First, let's look at the map as a whole. This is definitely a mid-sized resort. Something important to note is that this resort was completely redesigned in 2019, and that included updating most of the rooms. Now, this resort is split into 4 distinct sections, 3 of which have rooms. First up is the East Bay Village. This is actually where you will enter the resort, and this is one large tower building that has rooms with a more British colonial feel. Next, we have the Island Village. Now, these are the most private, most romantic rooms. Many have private pools and private balconies, and they are set in garden-style 2-story buildings. The last area with rooms is the West Bay Village. This is another tower style, and this, I think you feel the renovations from 2019 the most in these rooms. Many swim up options here. No matter where you're staying, you will have full access to all the dining, all the amenities, all the pools, everything like that, so no need to worry. Where you're staying, you're just going to want to consider what type of room that you want and what type of experience and atmosphere you want closest to you. And the final part of the resort is the private island that you can take a boat from the main dock area to the private island and enjoy lots and lots of beach time. No rooms here. When you arrive in Nassau, you'll head right to that Sandals Arrival Lounge once you've gone through customs and immigration, and you will be directed to your included shuttle transfer to the resort. It's about a 15-minute ride to the resort, and I will not lie, it was extremely bumpy. So if you have motion sickness, that is something to keep in mind. I might have some Dramamine on you. When you arrive, you will be directed to one of 3 lovely lobbies, depending on what level of room you have. This is the check-in area for luxury level rooms. This is the club level check-in. There is a 3rd one for butler level. There are snacks in each. You'll be offered champagne upon arrival, and do keep in mind that the check-in process could take about 30 minutes depending on how large of a group you are arriving with. And if you are checking in prior to check-in time, they will check your bags and hold on to them for you and bring them to your room when they are ready, and you can enjoy the whole resort while you wait for your room to be ready. We are looking at the gift shop here, which of course has everything you would expect. It's got foods and drinks that are local that you can purchase. You've got all those sorts of souvenirs, as well as some emergency toiletries if you've forgotten something at home. Let's take a look around the East Bay Village. It is very grand, British colonial feeling, very elegant. There are literally pictures of the royal British family in the bar here at the Balmoral Club and Lounge. This is a piano bar, and there was entertainment in the evenings, and during the day they had board games and other activities going on, and of course a full bar. There's also a nearby billiards room that additionally had some computerized game tables and chess as well. So this was a really fun place, especially we had a rainy day, very popular area. The full gym is also in this building, and I will say you cannot take an elevator to it. You have to walk up at least 1 flight of stairs, so keep that in mind if that is an issue. But there were beautiful ocean views from the gym during daylight hours and plenty of weight equipment, treadmills, bikes. This was a very well-equipped gym. So let's take a look at the hallways in the East Bay Village. There's some really nice artwork here and lots of different room types to choose from. This is a look at our room, and if you'd like a full in-depth tour of our room, it is available, and I've linked that video here. We are in a very basic entry-level room, but the East Bay Village has all sorts of room types, including butler suites and some swim-up options, and these are the best swim-up options view-wise in the whole property. Now, there are 3 different levels of rooms offered at all Sandals resorts. They are luxury, club level, and butler level. Those go up in price and amenities as you go up. Luxury level is the base level. You have access to all of the locations around property. There's nothing you can't do. You just don't have some of the bonus features, as you will, that you get from club level and butler level. If you stay club level, you have access to the club concierge, who will help you make dining reservations and book any special extras that you want to book. If you stay butler level, you will have a personal butler. You'll actually have a team of 2 personal butlers, and they can do pretty much anything that you could possibly need them to do while you're on vacation. Now, if you'd like, you can have a complimentary photo session on the beach during your stay, and if you like the portraits, you can choose to purchase them. You also have the option to book with island routes, some excursions out and about on the island. Now we are headed into the island village, which is made up of these smaller 2-story garden-style buildings. And these are the most secluded rooms. I think this is the most romantic setting on the property. And there is a small pool here that anyone can use, but is mostly intended for the guests here. And as you can see from this overhead shot, many of these rooms actually have private pools. There are a couple different room options for the island village as well. You've got the ones that walk out onto the private pool, and then you have some with a balcony. You have butler level here, so several options to fit all different price points if you want to stay in the romantic island village. This is also where you will find the sports courts. There is tennis and pickleball courts, a basketball court, as well as some shuffleboard. I also want to point out the Red Lane Spa, which is a full-service spa. The spa services are in addition to the cost of your stay. They are not included, but they have 3 different locations on property, including one on the private island. Staying in the East Bay Village, we have the first of 2 large pools that are on property. This is the East Bay Village Pool. It has a swim-up bar. There are 2 hot tubs, and there's even a little area where you can sort of just get your feet wet and sit in an Adirondack chair. Plenty of beach chairs here, and towels are provided, and it's very nice. This is the quiet pool, so all the activities and the bustling is going to be going on at the West Bay Village Pool. This one's a little bit more quiet. That's absolutely something to keep in mind when you're choosing what side of the resort you want to stay on, because if you have a room overlooking the East Bay pool, it's still not going to be that loud versus just overlooking the resort. If you have a room overlooking the West Bay Village pool, you could have a lot of noise at times. Between the East Bay and the West Bay, you have Coconut Grove, which is where you'll find the food trucks, some more dining experiences, and you have this really fun sandy hangout area, which is where a lot of the nighttime entertainment is and activities throughout the day. You've got a full bar, tons of places to sit. This is a really fun area to hang out. The resort has lots of activities. Every night there is something musical going on. You might have a vocalist in the piano bar. There is karaoke sometimes. You've got a live DJ pretty much every night. In one of the clubs, there is stuff going on outside in the beach area, such as this dance festival. There's a Junkanoo parade once a week. During the day, you could participate in things like trivia contests and game show style activities, or something more physical like a cornhole or bocce ball tournament, volleyball on the beach. So there's lots going on, something that everyone will enjoy. And this is a look at the West Bay Village pool. It also has hot tub options, lots of chairs, and the full swim-up bar. It's a little bit closer to the beach as well versus that East Bay Village. Here is a look at the West Bay Village. You can see there's lots and lots of balconies. There are swim-up rooms here. And just like the East Bay, West Bay has a ton of different room categories, luxury, club, and butler as well. And here's a look at some of them. The thing I would keep in mind the most when booking a West Bay Village room is that this pool is where you're going to have a lot of activity, so you're going to have a lot more noise. But there are a lot of different swim-up options here, so if you really want swim-up, this might still be your best opportunity. Conversely, if you want to be where all the action is, the West Bay Village is going to be your best choice. Unfortunately, I was unable to tour any additional rooms during my stay because the hotel was basically at complete capacity, so that will tell you something about how popular this resort is. Now on to the beach. This is a beachfront resort, and the beach is split into two areas. There's this first cove area, and then we have a large dock, which is home to a restaurant and the boats that will leave for various activities. And on the other side of the dock, you have more of a straight line of beach. And that beach continues down past other hotels as well. So if you're a big beach walker, you can walk pretty far down. Now you're going to be off the resort, you're going to be near other resorts and whatnot, but there is a lot of beach there. Lots of beach chairs, lots of covered beach chairs. These are first come, first serve, except if you have a butler can reserve that for you. Sandals offers a lot of water activities, and these are all included in your stay. You can rent all of these paddle boards and kayaks and little boats and the trikes, and you can take them out on the water. There are also snorkel excursions, which is included, and scuba diving, which is also included, but you do have to be certified, and you can pay to take a certification class while at Sandals. Okay, now we're going to talk about my absolutely favorite part of this resort. This is the part of the resort that I was completely sold. I have to come back here. The private island. So you will take the boat from the dock that we just saw and the boat that we just saw, about 5-10 minute jaunt over to the private island. This private island is beautiful. It is just beach everywhere. And what I really, really loved about it is that there is somewhere fun to sit for everyone. So of course we do have a full bar here on the island. There's also table service dining at Aurelia House, which unfortunately there was a special event going on when I was there, so we had buffet meal. We did not get to try the typical food here, but my Sandals representative tells me that it is her absolute favorite food at this resort. So make sure to plan lunch there. And there is a pool here with a swim up bar, little bit of lounge area, and then beach everywhere. Beach as far as the eye could see. There's coves, there's a straight beach, there's rocky beach, and there are sofas. There are pavilions like this throughout the area, and you do not have to reserve these pavilions. You do not have to spend extra for these pavilions. I thought that was just amazing. And the landscaping on this island is beautiful. It's large enough that you can take a little stroll in between sitting and eating. And there was cell reception and Wi-Fi here. So if you're someone that likes to work on vacation or just scroll through Instagram on your phone, you can do that while you relax. You can sit on some swings. There were hammocks. There's really just everything here. I was blown away. If you're a beach person, I think that this island alone is enough for you to go to this resort. Even though I like the entire resort, this was my favorite part. If I was to go back, I would spend multiple days just on this island. There was food and beverage staff coming around, cleaning up cups and taking drink orders. So it's beautiful and perfect. They also will take your drink orders at the beach on the main island right by the resort as well. And this was very picturesque area. We were very happy to just sit for a few hours and enjoy the scenery. And I'm not a huge sit on the beach person, but this beach sold me sitting in one of these little cabanas. Now, if you want a seat right on the ocean with cover, I would suggest getting there early. There is a posted schedule of the ferry that goes back and forth. It's several times during the day, but it's not constant, so make sure to keep an eye on that schedule. But, we rolled up on the third ferry of the day. We were able to get a covered seat where we could see the water, was like right off the water without too much problem. You can also have some spa treatments done on the island in these beautiful pavilions with these views. You can see here the snorkel excursion, which takes place, one of the snorkel areas is right off the island. So there's tons of fun here, or if you just want to lay in a hammock, you can do that as well. So I don't think you need to super stress about getting a good seat. There's plenty of seating, but my Disney friends, if you want to rope drop that first boat, you're going to get your prime oceanfront covered options. So last but not least, let's talk about food. Sandals Royal Bahamian has 10 restaurants and 2 food trucks, as well as 8 bars. Now, the first thing that you'll want to know is that some of these restaurants for dinner require reservations. This was the biggest pain point that we had. We found it rather cumbersome to make reservations because we were staying luxury level. We did not have that club or butler service that will help you with reservations. We had to call a couple times. We had to visit the front desk. And a few things we were unable to do because we just couldn't get reservations. And it didn't help that we were only going to be there for 4 nights. If we'd had a longer stay, I think it probably would have been easier. We were also visiting during a very busy spring break time. The footage that you've been looking at is from Tesoro, which was our favorite place to dine while we visited the property. This is an Italian restaurant. They have full buffet breakfast in the morning, and that's not necessarily Italian. At lunch, they have a menu, and pizzas are their main go-to at lunch. And then at dinner, they also have a menu, but they have an antipasta bar, and we absolutely loved having that option. This location does not require reservations, and it was our favorite of the trip. Absolutely loved that antipasta bar, and the pizza and dinner that we had was also super yummy. Next up, we have Kimonos and Soy. Soy is a sushi bar, and Kimonos is traditional hibachi style. You know, you get the whole hibachi show, which was a lot of fun. Our chef did a really great job. And you get to order a plated appetizer, and then everybody gets veggies, steak, chicken, shrimp, and mahi, as well as fried rice. I definitely recommend the spring rolls over the gyoza, which we thought was just okay. The hibachi style meats were good. I thought the mahi was the best. And I will note that I have a dairy allergy, and they were able to accommodate me with this situation. If you're dining with an allergy or dietary preference and it is severe, we can let the property know ahead of time, and they will make sure that there's something safe for you to eat wherever you would like to dine. If you have something a little bit less severe, just like gluten-free or dairy-free, they have items marked on the menu, and make sure that you tell your server and they will help you know what is safe for you to eat. I've been looking at the Queen's Pearl, which is a British pub and full bar. They also have a dancing club in the back. This is your option for late night food. They are often open late into the night. They also have a dinner a la carte menu at typical dinner hours. This is a bar that is connected to both Butch's and La Plume. Here is a look at Butch's Steakhouse, which does require reservations and is a classic for the Sandals brand. It is their signature steakhouse. La Plume is the French dining experience. We had dinner here. Reservations are required, and I thought that this was absolutely the cutest of the dining establishments, and it had a really nice atmosphere. Enjoyed dining here. Both of these locations do require a resort evening attire, as does Gordon's Over the Water, so make sure to take a look before you pack at what sort of clothing is required for where you want to dine. Now, our appetizers here we thought were just fine, but the real star of the show was the fish. We both had the fish dish as our meal and really enjoyed it. Next up, we have the 2 food trucks, and I would say these are your best options for snacks throughout the day. One is Sweets and Things, and that had both coffees to choose from and crepes and some other dessert treats. The other one, the Cocoa Queen, had what they are calling Bahamian Fusion. We tried the fish tacos and the conch fritters, and both were pretty good. Next up, we have the open air poolside Calico, which has American food, and we thought that the food here was nice and yummy. Nothing too over the top. It was exactly as expected. And I'll take this time to note that all of the food on all of the menus is included, and there is no tipping at Sandals, so no additional fees no matter where you're dining. Next up, we have Gordon's Over the Water, which is a really beautiful location on the pier, and they serve fish. Reservations are required there. And next up, we have Canoe, which is the second buffet option, this one on the East Bay Village. They have a full American breakfast buffet. We found that the breakfast food at Canoe and Tesoro was very, very similar, so I would just go to whichever one is closer to your room. It did rotate a little bit day to day. Some of the hot options were different each day. I love a breakfast buffet, so I was very happy that they had the option to have two different breakfast buffets, plenty of seating, never too busy, even though the resort was full. There were indoor and outdoor seating options here at Canoe, and there is also the option to have a sit-down breakfast at La Plume. It is not French for breakfast, it is American, but you do need reservations for that sit-down breakfast at La Plume. Canoe also has a Bahamian-inspired menu for sit-down lunch. We had lunch here and thought that the chili and the salad were good, and I had the snapper with pickled vegetables and thought that that was very good. I would recommend that. And it's nice to have some Bahamian cuisine. Additionally, all of your beverages in the restaurants, at the bars, at the pool, on the beach, in your room, it is all included. Beer, wine, cocktails, mocktails, soda, tea, coffee, they have it all for you. Overall, my review of the dining experience at Sandals Royal Bahamian is that I was very happy with all of the food that I had. Tesoro was my favorite option for that antipasta bar. I thought La Plume had the best atmosphere and good food as well. And I overall feel that the food here is very good for all inclusive, all you care to enjoy. However, there's nothing that's like blowing my mind, the ultimate foodie experience. I did not have that experience here, but I think everyone will find something that they'll be very happy with. Here are the top 3 pros and cons that I experienced during my stay at Sandals Royal Bahamian. First of all, I just want to say we're finding pros and cons for everything, so just because I have some cons doesn't mean that this is a bad resort. My number 1 con is that it was a huge hassle to get restaurant reservations, and most of the restaurants required dinner reservations. Now, getting club or butler level rooms would be an easy way to combat this, but if not, just set your expectations that it might be a bit of a hassle and you might not get to eat at your top place, especially if you have a shorter stay. Number 2 con, and I truly hate to say this, but the vibes from the staff at this resort were not great. No one was ever rude to us or anything like that, but they felt very dismissive often, that they would sort of hand you your drink and, okay, that was it, bye, or they really didn't come around and check on you during your meals at dinner. I just felt really like they were disconnected and didn't care, which is fine, but just the vibes were off, especially compared to our stay at Sandals Royal Caribbean in Jamaica last year. I really felt welcomed, and those were very lovely staff members, and I just was not feeling that here at Royal Bahamian. And I think that just might be something to speak to the culture in Jamaica versus the culture in the Bahamas. Sort of going off of con number 2, con number 3 is housekeeping. We had several times where our room was not tidied up. We did not receive housekeeping. We'd have to call for items, and sometimes we had to call twice for an item to get brought up, like a towel or something like that we really needed, so that was a pain. Okay, on to the pros. So this resort was large enough that you could have areas that were very, very peaceful at the same time that there was an area where a big party is going on. So you had the option to be in either one. You had the option to have a room in a more peaceful area or in a more party area. So I think it's great if you're looking for one or the other, this works for you, or if you're looking for that combination, this is a really great option for you because they're both here. Pro number 2 is the private island. I just absolutely loved it. It was perfect. I would recommend planning at least an entire day to hang out there, and I definitely want to go back to it. Pro number 3 is the location. So the location of Nassau, Bahamas in general is great. It's very easy to get to from the east coast of the United States. There are direct flights or lots of quick connections through Florida. and that makes it really easy for a shorter trip. You're not taking a long flight. The location of the resort particularly was nice. It was not in the heart of Nassau. It was about a 25-minute cab ride from the cruise port, so you could get to that area very easy via cab, but you didn't have, the hustle and bustle of the city right outside of the door of the resort. It was also only a 15-minute ride to and from the airport, so that was very nice. Additionally, when you're flying from the Bahamas to the United States, you go through customs in the Bahamas, which is a big time saver when you land at home. Those are my pros and cons. Some of those things might be important to you, some of those things might not be important to you, or maybe there's something else that's important to you. If you have more questions about this resort, send me an email and I am happy to answer your questions. In addition, if you think that you would like to stay at a resort like this, but some of those cons or something about this resort is just not the perfect fit for you, that is why you work with a travel agent to find the best resort and vacation for you and your specific situation. Additionally, as we saw, there's a ton of different room categories at this resort, and that is true at all Sandals resorts. So I think one of the best things about using a travel agent for a Sandals stay is to help you figure out what room you want, what is the best room for you. Overall, I very much enjoyed my time at Sandals Royal Bahamian. I enjoyed the food, I enjoyed the beach, I enjoyed the private island, I enjoyed the overall aesthetic of the resort as a whole. It had a lot to offer, and I was very happy with my time spent there. I would absolutely return. If you are interested in a stay at Sandals Royal Bahamian, any Sandals property, or other all-inclusive resorts, other vacations, anything, I would love to be your travel agent. Go ahead and send me an email and we can start talking today about your next adventure. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and please hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical rest of your day.